All right, everybody, we are back. Power restored. Internet hopefully much better now. Just swapped out the old 6-year modem with a new modem. So everything on the diagnostics is showing that everything signal-wise is great. So hopefully we don't run into any issues. And we're back here with the Rockies and the Phillies. This is game 2 of a 4-game series. Game number 48 overall was played Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. So through all the inner workings of all the distractions and the power outages and everything else, we managed to come full circle and come back to play the game on the same weeknight of the actual game. So maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. We're at Coors Field. Singles are 1-19. Homers 1-9. Philadelphia won the real game 7-4. And right now in the replay, Philadelphia is 26-21. Colorado is 16-31. But 8 games better than what they were real world. Real world, they were 8-39 at this point. So we're +8. Still trying to hit that magical 20-win number in the first 59 games. Don't know if we can do it. We're going to try it. We have to go 4-8. I believe that's the number here is 4-8. Or actually 4-7, I guess it is. 4-7. I can't remember, 20, and then they would have 38. No, 4-8. 4-7. You're right. No, I'm right. First time, 4-8. That would give us 20-39 in the 59 games. So you have to go 4-8 the last 12 games. Not going to be easy because you got the Phillies here for 3, and then you got the Yankees coming in for 3. So not exactly easy competition to be taking on. Hello, Ben, and hello, Brown. Good to see both of you. Pitching for the Rockies tonight is Antonio Sensatella. On the replay, he's 2-5 with a 7.65 ERA. Real world, he's 4-15 with a 6.65 ERA. So he's 1 point higher, 7.65 in the replay versus 6.65. He is a -2 on his hold, but Goodman's a +1 arm, so he becomes a -1 on his hold. And we'll look at the pitcher for the Phillies, Jesus Luzardo, in the bottom of the first. Right now, yes, Thomas. Power actually came back on this morning, probably around 8:30 or 9-ish or so. But the power came on, but it reset that old modem, so my internet was out, so I couldn't play a game this morning. Plus, I barely got any sleep last night. It was a miserable night last night. No air conditioning, no fan, no nothing, and it was just miserable. So I got maybe an hour or so of sleep off and on. The power did come back on, like I said. Actually came on, I think, around 7-ish, 7:30-ish maybe. And so I took a nap until about 8:30 or 9 after that because I was just so tired. And then, of course, I was dealing with the tech came out and replaced the modem, tightened up some of the settings, and ran some diagnostics and said I'm all good. So hopefully that's the case. All right, Bryson Stott will lead things off for the Phillies. And again, they won this game real world 7-4. It's a 1-7 against Sensatella. It's a 1 for a double. 2-20 is a single. That is a single. And I'm going to go to bed early tonight. I can tell you that because I am pretty tired right now just from not getting much sleep last night. So I'm going to try to play this game without messing up, even though I'm a little bit tired. I'm going to try to. All right, so -1 on his hold. He needs to get a jump. Needs a 2 through 5 to get that jump, and he does not get it, so he will hold. And that brings up Trey Turner. Trey Turner, the shortstop. And Sensatella facing Turner. Hello, Joel. That's a 4-10, and that's a ballpark single check, which at Coors Field is pretty much automatic. And that's going to be another single. So back-to-back base hits to start the ball game for Mr. Bryce Harper. And right now the Rockies could use one of those Giovanni's Taylor Shop double plays. 2-8. They get a strikeout. That's almost as good. As Sensatella gets his first strikeout, and that brings up the very dangerous Kyle Schwarber, designated hitter. He can make it 3-0 with one swing of the bat very easily. 6-7. But instead he'll get a single 2 stars, and that'll put the Phillies on the board 1-0. RBI single from Schwarber. Stott will score. Going to third is Turner. First and third with only 1 out. Since I didn't think Schwarber stole many bases, but he's got an asterisk here. Stole 10 bases, only got caught twice. Those had to be back ends of double steals, I would think. I just don't picture him stealing a lot of bases. He's going to try to get a lead, though. He needs a 6. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. For Nick Castellanos, and the Rockies playing the infield back for the double play. It's a 1-8, and they get that double play right on cue. Ground ball, third base, A. On the 1-8, ground ball, third base, A. That turns right into a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. And Sensatella gets out of the mess with just the 1 run. 1-0 Phillies. Phillies 1, Rockies coming to bat. And coming up for the Phillies will be left-hander Jesus Luzardo. He was 15-7 with a 3.92 ERA in the 25 season. On the replay, according to Action PC, they're simming him out to be 2-3 with a 3.46. He is a +4 on his hold, but Realmuto's a -3, so it's a net +1 on the hold rating. And leading things off for the Rockies will be Jordan Beck. That is a 4-5, and that's going to be a fly to right field, 1 away. 1 down, and that brings up Ezekiel Tovar, the shortstop. 5-5, that's a strikeout for Luzardo, his first. And that'll bring up Hunter Goodman. That's a 2-7 for Goodman against a left-hander, 2-7, and that's a 1-11 double. 12-20 is a single, and that's a single for Hunter Goodman. 2-out single, no threat to run. Here's Michael Toglia, first baseman, switch hitter, batting right-handed. That is a 3-9, and that is a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Luzardo, and that will end the inning. Got to put down Shunk's defense here. All right, so we do have 1 nameless player. Aaron Shunk is back on the roster, and he is in the game starting at shortstop. So here's Sensatella back out facing Max Kepler. Kepler, left fielder. See if I can get this over here a bit better. Come on now. There we go. Max Kepler, 6'4", and that's a fly ball center field X. Brenton Doyle, 1E3. So we know he's going to get to it with a 1. We're just looking for the E3 as a center fielder. And the only errors are 3, 16, and 18. Has to avoid 3, 16, and 18, which he does easily. Doyle puts it away, 1 away. And that'll send up JT Realmuto, the catcher. 3-8 for Realmuto. He will fly to center, and Doyle handles that one as well. 2 down for Alec Bohm. And we were just very, very fortunate that there were a lot of trees down in our neighborhood, but fortunately all we had come down were a bunch of limbs. It was a mess to clean up. I spent most of the morning cleaning up the yard because driveway was covered, porch was covered. I can't even cut the grass because there's so many tree limbs and stuff in the way, but fortunately no whole trees came down. But if you saw the picture I posted, my next door neighbor, tree was right on that power pole, and that's what caused the outage. And that happened right about 6:30 yesterday evening. And we didn't get power back. It was about 13 hours later we got power back. All right, here's Alec Bohm. It was a massively bad storm. 5-7 is a single. I mean, it may not have been a hurricane, but it was very close to it. It was those straight winds, they call it, or whatever. It was like 50-mile-an-hour winds or something. The whole storm lasted maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but it was just and the rain wasn't that bad. It was just a wind. It was a terrible wind. I was kind of worried that because we have a lot of trees around here. I was kind of worried one of those trees would come down, and I've seen pictures around the area where there are a lot of trees that did in fact come down. So we ended up getting off pretty lightly and far as I'm concerned. Here's Brandon Marsh, 6'8", and that is a ground ball second base X. Looking at Amador, 4E14. 4 and a 13, he will get to that. That is a G3. And E14, the errors on E14 are 15, 16, and 18. And he will make the play, and that's going to end the inning. So hopefully we got this stuff behind us now. If it's not the internet, it's a power outage. So hopefully all the things that prevent me from doing what I want to do will, whatever the right word is. I can't think of the right word at the moment, but we'll go away. Put that. All right, here's Brenton Doyle, center fielder, 5'5". That's another strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Luzardo, and that brings up Kyle Farmer. He is the designated hitter in this game. 4-11, and that is a strikeout again for Luzardo, his 4th. Rockies usually average 10 or 11 strikeouts a game, so nothing surprising here. Here's Tyler Freeman, right fielder. 1-3, it's a split. 1-6 is a single. 7-20, he lines to Turner. And Turner will snag it to end the inning. So we'll go to the third. Still 1-0 Phils. Tomorrow we will finally get to that Toronto, Texas game we've been waiting to play for a couple days. We'll finally get to that. And let's see here. Now we're going to have Antonio Sensatella against Bryson Stott. That's a leaner. I'm going to re-roll that. That's White Die was cat corner. 4-5. Ground ball shortstop X. Chunks of 3. 3-11, he'll get to that. He's an E0. He didn't make any errors in his limited time of playing, so I gave him an E0. And there's one away. There's Trey Turner. 4-4, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. So once again, same thing. He'll get to it, and that's 2 down. Kind of hard to rate these nameless players defensively when you don't know how they would be rated, but I just looked at their regular stats. Saw he didn't make any errors, and he had a fair amount of. I just gave him a 3 because that's the average rating. So here's Harper, 3-9, and that's a ballpark blast for Harper on the 3-9. Ballpark blast, it's 1-9, and Harper goes deep. Bryce Harper, 2-run home run, or solo home run rather, makes it 2-0. That's where the 2's coming from. Harper, home run, makes it 2-0 Phillies for Kyle Schwarber. 6-6, and that's a base hit for Schwarber. He's 2 for 2. And this time he will not try to get. Here's Castellanos. 6-6, and that's a walk, and that is the first walk issued by Sensatella. Keeps the inning going from right fielder or left fielder Max Kepler. Clutch situation for Kepler. In the clutch, he loses hits 212 and 310. 3-6, and that's going to be a line out to third, snagged by McMahon, and that will end the inning. Home run from Harper makes it 2-0 Phillies, and we go to the bottom of the third. 2 up for the Rockies. It'll be the bottom of the order. Amador, Shunk, and Beck to face Jesus Luzardo, left-hander. 110, and that's a walk. So Amador will walk. And now that'll bring up Shunk. 3-4, and that is a pop out to short. Turner's got it, 1 away. Back to the top of the order for Jordan Beck. With Amador at first base, not being held. 5-8, that's another walk. So 2 walks in the inning for Luzardo. And all of a sudden, runners at first and second with 1 out for Ezekiel Tovar. 6'3". He's a righty, so that's a fly ball right field X. That's Castellanos. He's a 4-E-0. He won't make an error, but the 4 can make a big difference. 4 and 18, though, is going to be 4 and 18 is actually an F2, but down 2-0. They're not going to try to advance any bases. He's already in scoring position, so he's going to stay right where he is. For Hunter Goodman, you're not going to get thrown out on the base paths when you get your best hitter coming up. So Hunter Goodman in the clutch against lefties will lose a hit on 3-11. Hunter Goodman. That is a 4-6, and that is another walk. Luzardo has walked the bases loaded. And now it's up to Michael Tolia in a clutch situation with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He's completely neutral in the clutch. That is a 4-7 right-handed, and that's a 1-6 single. Anything else, he lines it to Turner, and they'll leave him loaded. And he lines it to Turner, and they leave him loaded. Rockies leave the bases loaded. And at the end of 3, it's still 2-0. And missed opportunity for Colorado. Start the top of the 4th would be JT Realmuto. 6-5 for Sensatella. It's a ground ball to third base, and Mr. Wait a minute, who's playing third base? I got this thing. I told you I was tired when I was writing up the score sheet. I got somebody playing out of position here. Shortstop should not be Shunk. Shunk should be playing third base, I think. I've already had a couple ground balls to short that I obviously did incorrectly because of the wrong guy playing there. But that happens. So let me pull up the box score and make sure I have the right guy playing the right spot. Who is this third baseman? Let's see here. Wrong game there. I need the one for the 20th. So Shunk is playing third base, not shortstop. I'm just so used to him playing shortstop. So let's get his numbers on third base. Did he make any errors? No, he did not. So I'm going to keep the rating the same. So it was a ground ball third base for Realmuto. Here's Alec Bohm. That's a 3-8 for Bohm, and that's a single. He's 2 for 2. Brings up Brandon Marsh, center fielder. 4-6, and that's a fly to center, 2 down. And we're looking at Bryson Stott. He's 1 for 2. 3-3, and that's a ground ball first base C. So Tolia will get it and flip to Sensatella covering to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 4th, and Brenton Doyle will step up. In the real game, Shunk gets replaced by the regular third baseman McMahon in about the 6th or 7th inning. So I'm sure that's probably when Philadelphia brings in a righty reliever. So that's what I'll probably do there, I assume. Here's Brenton Doyle. And that is a 4-9. 4-9, that's a single to right field. So now Doyle, chance to get a good lead. Needs a 4 or 8. That's a 1. So it's chance that he could be picked off. His get back number is 13. His get back number is a 13. And he's out, caught, steal, or picked off, whatever you want to call it. When you roll a 1 trying to get a lead, you go to the secondary number. That's what I call the get back number. He needs a 1 to 13 to be safe. That's a 19. He's out. You can either call it pickoff, or you can call it that they threw behind him and he tried to go to second, caught stealing. He's out no matter what you name it. Here's Farmer, 4-9, and that's a single to right field. So costly out there on the base paths by Doyle. Farmer not going to go anywhere. And here is Tyler Freeman. 5-10, that's a catcher X. Riamuto is a 2E1. 2-16 for a catcher. 2-16 is a regular old foul out. No wild pitch or pass ball to worry about. Regular old foul out, and he's an E1. Only error is on a 17. There is no 17, so it's strictly a foul out. 4 out, number 2, and here is Adele Amador. 1-3, and that's a ground ball to second to end the inning. So that'll do it for the Rockies. We go to the 5th. It's still 2-0 Phillies. This is the fatigue inning for both pitchers coming up. And it's going to be Turner, Harper, and Schwarber due up for the Phils. 2-5, and that's a triple. 1-8 for Turner. 9-20 is going to be a double. And that's a leadoff double for Trey Turner. He's 2 for 3. And that brings up the dangerous Bryce Harper. A lot of guys are dangerous. Schwarber's dangerous too. Harper 4-5, and it's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Tovar. 2E16 for Tovar. 2-9 should be no problem. 2-9 is a G2. And E16, he has to avoid 14 and 17, which he does. Now on the G2, let's see if the runner Turner has an opportunity to go to second base, or third base rather, even though it's hit to short. It is a G2, runner at second, infield normal. It says right. And it also says if ball hit the shortstop, pitcher, or catcher, see the side. Well, Turner runs at a 17, and to get to third base with only 1 out would be pretty big. So we know it's a 6-3 ground out, but does Turner make it to third base? So on the side, lead runner can attempt to advance a base. Computer safe chances is running speed -4 plus fielder's defensive rating. All right. Defensive rating is a 2. So his speed is 17, -4 is a 13, +2 is a 15. And I think 1 to 15 is a pretty good bet he would make it. So the Rockies are going to get the shore out and let him go to third. They don't want first and third with nobody out. So Turner very quick on the bases, and that will now put pressure on the Rockies. Infield will now come in for Kyle Schwarber. If you try to throw him out and you don't roll the 16 through 20, you got runners on the corners and nobody out, and you're in trouble for a very big inning. So I'd say he's going to make it. So we, as a Rocky manager, you take the shore out. So infield is in with 1 out. Turner at third. Here's Schwarber. Could use a strikeout right about now. 2-8, and they get a strikeout right on cue. Strikeout for Sensatella. That is only his second strikeout. He struck out Harper in the first. But that 2-8 was the strikeout he needed. But he's not out of the woods yet because Castellanos is up. And it's a clutch situation. He loses 2 hits, 2-12, or actually 3 hits, 2-2, 2-12, and 3-9. That's a 2-8, and that's a ground ball to short, and that'll end the inning. So they strand Turner at third. Sensatella has endurance to start the 6th inning, so he will probably stay around. Luzardo, this is his fatigue, and he's got that 5 there. But he's pitching a shutout, so a lot better chance that he can go a couple more innings. Here's Shunk. That's a 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base. X Stott's a 1E4, so we know he's going to get to it. The only question is the E4, and on an E4 at second base, the only errors are 3, 17, and 18. And he will make the play, and Shunk is out of there. Back to the top of the order for Jordan Beck. That's a 5-9, and that is a walk. Another walk by Luzardo. He walked the bases loaded in the third. This is walk number 4. And Beck's going to look to possibly get a lead. He needs a 2 through 6 or an 11. Gets the 8. He does not get the lead, so he will hold. And Ezekiel Tovar, the batter. 6-9, and that's a double 1 to 14, single 15 to 20. 2 stars either way you go. And that's going to be a 17, so that will be a single 2 stars for Ezekiel Tovar. Puts runners on the corners with only 1 out, and your best hitter, Hunter Goodman, coming up. So they're not going to try to run Tovar because you don't want to run yourself out of an inning, but the Phillies will have to hold him on. Phillies playing for the double play. Goodman has singled and walked in this game. That is a 3-10, and that's a ground ball. Pitcher A hits into the killer. 1-4-3 double play. That was a killer right there. Double play. Just when you think the Rockies have a chance to score a run, the old dreaded 3-10 comes up, and it's a ground ball. Pitcher A. So Luzardo, of course, will pitch into the 6th as well. Lower scoring game was 7-4 real world, but only 2-0 right now. Sensatella back out will face Kepler. Riamuto. Hello, Mr. Little. Good to see you. Kepler, Riamuto, and Bohm. Kepler 2-2, and that's going to be a walk. That's the second walk issued by Sensatella. And now the Rocky bullpen starts to stir a bit. And with the Phillies, now they got a mixture of righties and lefties, so you're not really favoring one way or the other on either side. But they are going to be loosening up Jimmy Herget out of the bullpen. He's in the bullpen loosening for the Phillies. So here's Riamuto. 6-8, and that is a ground ball, second base X. Kepler was not being held, so that means second baseman Amador will keep his 4E14 rating because he's not responsible for holding any runners. 4-11, they'll be lucky to get a G3 out of this. 4-11 is a G3, so he gets the only play is to first base, assuming there's no error, which is a big assumption because he's an E14. He's got to avoid 15, 16, and 18, which he does. So it's just a 4-3 ground out with the runner Kepler going to second. 1 away for Alec Bohm, the third baseman. And now we got left-handed action in the Rocky bullpen as well, as they have lefty Scott Alexander loosening the bullpen because Marsh a lefty and Stott a lefty are the next 2 guys up. So if he doesn't get Bohm, he's liable to come out of the ball game. Bohm, the batter, runner at second, 1 out. 1-7, that is a strikeout. Big strikeout for Sensatella, his third. Man, what do you do now with Marsh? I think the Rockies are going to say they got all they can get out of Sensatella. So he's going to lead the ball game. He goes 5 2/3. And they will go to the left-hander, Scott Alexander. Not a very good pitcher, but he is left-handed. He's had a couple of decent outings recently, so maybe. And they just want him to get 2 outs, basically. They want him to get Marsh. Well, I actually only needs 1 out because there's already 2 outs in the inning. Just get Marsh. That's what they want. And they don't deal with him anymore. Let's see, 5 2/3 innings pitched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. He walked 2, which was pretty good for him. Only struck out 3. He's given up 2 runs, but this runner is his responsibility as well. So Scott Alexander, and he is a -1 hole, which makes him a 0 with the +1 from Goodman. So Brandon Marsh is your batter. Face Alexander, lefty on lefty matchup. 6-4. It's a fly ball center field X. Well, we know Doyle's going to get to it because he's a 1. We're just checking the E3. Only errors on E3 for center fielder are 3, 16, and 18. That's it. And 15, he just does make the play. And that's it for Alexander. He's going to go, well, they may bring him back to face Stott. I take it back. He might come back and face Stott. We'll see how he does. But they keep the Phillies off the board, so he closed the book on Sensatella. 2 runs. They were both earned. So not a bad outing compared to his 7.65 ERA in the replay. So not bad. But again, no run support, as the Rockies have trouble against left-handed pitching. So Michael Toglia, the batter, first baseman, switch hitter. Toglia, 0 for 2. 3-9 for Toglia, struck him out, making him 0 for 3. And for Luzardo, that is strikeout number 5 to go with the 4 walks. And here's Brenton Doyle, center fielder. 1-8, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 6. For Kyle Farmer, the designated hitter. 4-6, and that's a base on ball. So that's a 5th walk issued by Luzardo to go with the 6 strikeouts. Now right fielder Tyler Freeman, the batter. Phillies bullpen might start to stir in just a bit. 6-5. Ground ball shortstop X looking at Trey Turner, 2-E10 to end the inning. 2-14 is good all day. E10 at short. Only errors are 16, 17, and 18. And that's a 15. He just did make the play to end the inning. So Luzardo is actually going to come back and pitch the 7th, I do believe, as he is pitching a shutout. So we go to the top of the 7th. Alexander is going to come back out and face Bryson Stott for sure. You've also got lefties here in Harper and Schwarber. So he's probably going to face everybody up through Schwarber, and then they go to the right-hander after that. But we'll see how it plays out. Bryson Stott, he is 1 for 3. 4-3, and that's a fly ball right field X. Freeman's a 4-E3. 4-19, he gets to it. E3, the only errors, 3, 15, and 18. And he avoids the error and makes the play. So Stott is gone. 1 away for Trey Turner. He's 2 for 3 with a double. 1-3 against the lefty. He's going to ground it to Amador at second base. 2 down. And Bryce Harper. And this will be the Harper and Schwarber would probably be the last 2 he would face in this game. 1-8 for Harper, and that's a base hit. So Schwarber will be the last batter he's going to face. Harper is going to try to see if he can get a jump, get a good lead. He needs a 7 to get the good lead. And he gets an 8, so he cannot get the good lead. So he will hold. And here's Schwarber, lefty against Alexander. Regardless, this is Alexander's last batter. Jimmy Herget's ready to come in. 6-8, and that's a double 2 stars. And that's going to do it for Alexander. He will leave the ball game. He goes 1 inning, gives up 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. He is responsible for both of these runners. And now Jimmy Herget is going to come on for the Rockies, right-hander, to face the right-hander Castellanos in a clutch situation. And again, Castellanos loses 3 hits, 2-2, 2-12, and 3-9 in this clutch situation. Hello, Mark. Good to see you. It's a 1-9, and that is a strikeout. So Herget comes in and gets the strikeout just when he needs it. And that'll finish off Alexander. No damage done. We go to the 7th inning stretch. And it is still 2-0 Phillies. Phillies won this game real world 7-4. But you wouldn't think in Coors Field that you would get a 2-0 shutout going. Amador is the batter. And that is a 4-4. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Ground ball third base X. We're looking at Bohm. He's a 3-E8. 3-20 is good all day. E8 at third base. He's got to avoid 3, 15, basically 15 through 18 in the 3. And he makes the play easily. 1 down. And that'll do it for Shunk. He's not going to bat. They'll pinch hit for Shunk. So they will go to the bench. All their bench players, I believe, are left-handed except for backup catcher Stallings. So they're going to go and bring in McMahon to pinch hit, and he'll stay in the game to play third base. So McMahon will come in and pinch hit. Even though it's a lefty-lefty matchup, he's a lot better than Shunk. That's for sure. Because Shunk is junk. All right, here is McMahon. 4-9, and that's a base hit for Ryan McMahon. And that'll take us to the top of the order in Jordan Beck. And now the Philly bullpen starting to loosen as we have Orion Kirkering. He had 4 saves in 2025. So Orion Kirkering is loosening in the bullpen, right-hander. They're going to try getting Luzardo through 7 innings if they can. That's a 1. But his wild pitch rate's only a 2. So no wild pitch. Here's the pitch to Beck. 1-6, and that's a single. There's an anti-clutch, but there are not 2 outs, so the single is good. It's a valid single. 2 stars, and that'll move McMahon to third. So runners are at the corners, and Phillies aren't going to mess around. They're going to pull Luzardo and go the fresh arm in Orion Kirkering. So Luzardo will go 6 1/3. Uncharacteristically for him, he walked 5, struck out 6. And he gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got him for 6 hits. No runs, but he is responsible for both runners on base. He can win it, but he cannot lose it. +3 hold here, -3 catcher. It makes him a 0 hold. And the first person he's going to face is Ezekiel Tovar, shortstop. Infield is playing for the double play. They lead by 2, so if 1 run scores, they still have the lead, but they want to see if they can turn that double play. Beck, does Beck dare try to? No, he's not going to try to steal. They won't get thrown on the base pass. So here is Tovar, shortstop. It's a 5-6, struck him out. Keckering comes in with throwing the gas, and that's 2 away for Hunter Goodman. So now it's a showdown right here. Gas against fastball hitter Hunter Goodman. Clutch situation for Goodman. In the clutch against righties, he loses the hit on 3-11, just like he does against lefties. Goodman is 1 for 2. That is a 1-3, and that's a fly to center to end the inning. So Kirkering comes in and does the job. We'll go 2/3 of an inning and get a strikeout, nothing else. And that sends us to the 8th inning here at Coors Field. Still 2-0 Phillies. Burgett only faced 1 batter, Castellanos, so he's coming back to pitch the 8th inning. We'll be facing Kepler, Realmuto, and Bohm. Oh, that one guy flopped right off the side there. Let's try that again. 4-8, and that's a walk for Herget. Kepler, no threat to run, though. He will stay where he is. And JT Realmuto. 2-8 for Realmuto. And there's a ground ball third base A. Another double play. Not a tailor-made double play, but I think Herget will take it either way. 2-8. That's a 5-4-3 around the horn. Still need to get a sponsorship for that, maybe from Dodge or something, because they're Ram tough. They got horns. I don't know. Figure it out. Here's Alec Bohm. 4-7, and that's a strikeout for Herget. His second, and that will end the inning. So Herget will come back and pitch the 9th as well. Coming in for the Phillies, they need a setup guy for their closer. Their closer is Jordan Romano. Who do they want to use as a setup guy? Let's see, we've got switch hitter right and right. So they're going to probably go with the right-hander, you would think. And it's going to be Max Lazar. I'm not sure if it's Lazar or Lazar. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. But he will come on and pitch. He's a -3 hold, so that's a -5. Best you can have. And he'll be facing Tolia, Doyle, and Farmer, scheduled hitters for the Rockies. 2-0 Phillies, bottom of the 8th here at Coors Field. It's a 1-6 for Tolia and struck him out. That'll take us to Brenton Doyle. 4-3, and that's a ballpark blast for Brenton Doyle. It's a 1-9 to put the Rockies on the board finally. And he does it. Brenton Doyle, solo shot, cuts the lead in half. Now 2-1. Home run from Brenton Doyle. Here's Kyle Farmer. Farmer, the DH, but he's going to be called back. They want a lefty, and they're going to left-handed hitting. Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. Actually, no, it's not going to be Moniak, the Maniac. I take it back. It's going to be Martini. Moniak, the Maniac will hit for Freeman. So we got back-to-back pinch hitters left-handed. Martini and Moniak. So Martini will stay in the game as a DH. And Moniak will stay in the game in right field. But we got double pinch hitting right here. Lefties. And Lazar has to pitch to him. He has not faced 3 batters yet. So he's got to pitch to him. 2-7, and that's a ground ball right back to Lazar. 2 down. And now here's Moniak. 2-10 for Moniak. He flies to left, and that's going to do it. So Lazar gives up a home run, but nothing else. And the Phillies hold a 2-1 lead as we go to the bottom, or the top rather, of the 9th. Jordan Romano, the closer for the Phillies, is loosing in their bullpen. He will come in and pitch the 9th. Herget, he has a fatigue of 2. But he only pitched an inning and a third, so he's going to be okay to come out and pitch the 9th. It's going to be Marsh, Stott, and Turner due up for the Rockies. Or do they want lefties in there? They've got another lefty, Ryan Rollison. He is terrible. So we're going to stick with Herget. 3-6, and that's a fly to left. 1 down. Fly to left. Top of the order, and Bryson Stott. 1-12, and that's a ground ball to short plus injury. We're not doing injury, so just a ground ball to short. 2 away for Trey Turner. Turner is 2 for 4 on the game. That is a 5-7, and that's a fly to center, and that'll do it. So Jimmy Herget, excellent in the bullpen, goes 2 1/3, and he's going to strike out 2, walk 1, not give up anything else. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Rockies. It'll be Amador, McMahon, and Beck, the scheduled hitters. And they'll have to do it against the closer for the Phillies, Jordan Romano. Romano had 8 saves, but he's a terrible record, 2-4 and an 8.23 ERA, but he did lead the team in saves of all the pitchers on the roster right now. So other guys here that they could go to, I guess. Strom had 6 saves. That's about it. Tanner Banks had 1 save. So Romano is the guy. He got the 8 saves. So that's what they're doing. Let's see if they want to make a change in the defense, though. They might bring in a better outfielder for Castellanos. Let's see what they might want to do with that. Can Marsh play right field? Let's see here. Marsh. Yeah, Brandon Marsh. Whoops, sorry about that. Brandon Marsh is going to move to right field, and coming into play center field is Johan Rojas. He's a much better outfielder. They want to get that 4 range out of the game. So Rojas is in center field, and he's a 2, -3, and E7 for Rojas. So Rojas is going to take over in center field. He will bat in Castellanos' spot as they slide Marsh from center field to right field. All right, so now Romano will be facing Amador, McMahon, and Beck. He is a +9 hole, so that makes him a +5. Bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Rockies. That is a 1-6 for Amador, and he flies to center, 1 away. Brings up Ryan McMahon. 6-8, and that's a strikeout for Romano. 2 up, 2 down. It's up to Jordan Beck, or else the Phillies will take this game 2-1. Last chance for Beck. Beck is 1 for 2 with 2 walks. If he can reach, then Tovar is on deck. That's a 2-7, and that's a strikeout there. Romano does the job solid, and the Phillies hang on and win it by the score of 2-1. Rockies had their obligatory 10 strikeout game. Nothing new there. For the Phillies, 2 runs on 10 hits and no errors. Rockies 1 run, 7 hits, no errors. Winning pitcher Luzardo saved to Romano. The tough luck loss to Sensatella. He drops to 2-6, but he does improve his ERA a little bit. And so the Rockies fall and drop to 16-32. They're still +8 because they were 8-40 after this game, real world. And they look ahead to game 3 of the 4-game series. Again, they were swept real world by the Phillies. So they try again tomorrow night. And tomorrow night, it'll be a matchup of Taijuan Walker for the Phillies and rookie Palmquist for the Rockies. So not looking good there as a matchup when you got Palmquist pitching. But I thought Sensatella would get rocked, but he didn't. He kept him close, just didn't get the run support he needed. Solid game all the way around, pretty clean game. I can't complain about a 2-1 ball game. 2-10-0, 1-7-0. Pretty decent ball game. So thank you all for spending part of your Tuesday night with me. We're back in business now. The power outage was restored. Got my new modem, and we're all good to go. Tomorrow morning, we'll be north of the border in Toronto as the Texas Rangers take on the Toronto Blue Jays in the 1987 American League replay. It'll be John Cerruti, a left-hander for the Jays, against Bobby Witt for the Texas Rangers. So that'll do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your evening, whatever you have planned. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.